Raheem Morris, new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
There you go, Raheem.
Yeah. Congratulations to Raheem Morris, who coached with the Falcons before, was the interim head coach with the Falcons before, and now he's back as the head coach. Now, obviously, Bill Belichick interviewed down there a couple different times, once potentially on a boat in the Caribbean, and then one in real life. And if you listen to Albert Breer on NBC Sports Boston, I believe, talking about what Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, was kind of contemplating, it seemingly echoes what maybe we were prognosticating the situation being in Atlanta as well for Bill Belichick.
And so, I think a lot of this comes down to Arthur Blank wanted to hire, and I have that on good authority. I know you've heard it too. Arthur Blank wanted to hire Bill Belichick, the head coach. And it wasn't the money. I think he was willing to pay him. It was everything else that was going to have to happen. And the amount of people around him that Bill's going to need here, and the amount of people that might be outgoing because of it. And I think people in that building knew, hey, if Bill comes here, I probably won't be here for much longer. And so those people wind up getting in blanks here.
Boys, do it.
It's time.
Do it.
AJ?
I don't know.
Need some flexibility, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know with all your muscles and everything.
I got it.
This is what we were kind of talking about. And now, this is not anything negative towards any hire that they had. But as we started to look into why is Bill Belichick not getting suited everywhere, it's like, well, there has to be a reason. Oh, because you hire one person. You're losing a lot of people you care about for a 2 to 3 year run, potentially. Do you want to do that? Make that business decision. They also interviewed Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh takes the job with the Chargers. But if you follow along with what Brett Jukes said, Brett Jukes, who is a Atlanta businessman, I assume, or a Falcons member, or whatever the hell he is, he tweeted out basically the process in which they got to Raheem Morris being their head coach. Ian Rappaport retweeted this thread. Now, it has been put into story mode by Zito. Shout out to the new X, so we don't have to scroll through all these threads. But he basically explained how Raheem Morris stole the show in these interviews. Really excited to have Raheem Morris back in Atlanta as our head coach. It's been quite a month. Here's some insights from In the Room, says Brett Jukes. Raheem's first interview was electric, captured the crew on it, many of whom had not ever worked with him, because a lot of new people potentially in the building. Arthur Blank's trying to make a change. Second interview, even better. Wow, so well prepared. His time in LA has elevated him, clearly gleaned. Was that autocorrect for?
No, I think so. Gleaned a lot from,
What does that mean? That means learned?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. Yeah, understood, grabbed, and got an understanding of.
Man, you are a bulwark against stupidity on this particular show. I appreciate you so much. Clearly gleaned a lot of learning and experience in an excellent Rams organization. He has a great plan and unbridled passion to work it. Some critics about how many we interviewed, that's dumb. Don't buy it. You learn so much about the league, schemes, players, good ideas, bad ideas, and so forth. Amazing part of the process. You also get to compare the different people and perspectives. It's very valuable. Very bullish on talent in the coaching pipeline. Was blown away by several of our candidates. Blown away.
Wow.
Several interviews planned for 4.5 hours, once 6. Why? Guys were so good and compelling. Most of the people we interviewed will be head coaches sooner than later. I believe that very strongly. Okay?
Atlanta.
Metro, business, sports.
Enterprises.
Complex organization, and is sometimes hard to understand on the outside. We are a portfolio company, and a lot of other NFL teams are not. Operating a stadium that hosts everything from World Cup to college football to pro football to soccer to concerts to weddings to a myriad of other things is more than most NFL teams. Don't compare staff structures from a team that is just a football team to what we are. You can't. AMBSE is Falcons United, MBS, and some other things. The transition of responsibilities began on or around January 7th, 2023, when Rich McKay was named CEO of AMBSE. Steve Cannon has been the steward of it. All right.
Atlanta United.
Yeah, okay. Back to the coaching search. Thank God. That's what we're here for, Brett.
Yes.
I could not be more proud of my colleagues and how this search was executed. Incredible experience. There was never any panic or discombobulation. That's nuts. From first day, we knew how much our job was coveted. People, plural, wanted this. We ran our process. Congrats on that.
Yep. Way to go. Way to go, Atlanta.
Some people dictated, I guess, a third party was potentially involved in this entire thing. I think they had a lot of people potentially in the room around Atlanta that cover a lot of things. I think we potentially know one of the people that was probably in that room, I guess.
Definitely.
If it's just power players down in Atlanta, and that name is just everywhere.
Yeah, that would make sense.
All the time. But they got it right. They said they appreciated Raheem Morris. They went through the full process. And with all those people who are seemingly potentially very successful in what they do, how do you think Bill Belichick was talking to all of them? You know? How many times do you think Bill Belichick looked at, okay.
Not a football guy.
You know?
You do?
So Raheem Morris going in there and crushing it, I think showcases an ability that obviously the others did not have. Raheem Morris is ready for it. They're excited for him to come back. The Atlanta Falcons social media team has been posting old videos from Raheem Morris dancing and being beloved by the Atlanta Falcons players and Arthur Blank. I'm excited for this next chapter down there, and I assume they all are as well. Congrats to them seemingly winning the headline, right, in Atlanta and with their fans, and also getting an incredible coach that all of his ex-players have come out publicly and stated, this is the guy. Good for Raheem Morris. We're all pumped for him.
Yeah, good. I mean, I feel like this is more skews to like, hey, this is how great Raheem Morris is. And he came in here and didn't steal this job, but he took this job because we felt like we just could not let this guy out of here. We have to give him the gig. But then going back to old buddy's tweets, all of that stuff, when he laid it out like that, it does sound like a unique structure. How was Bill ever even in the running for that gig? It sounds like that does not sound like a place you could plug Bill Belichick in.
So how many?
What's this?
Guys, I did the AMB, what is it? AMBSE. That's already.
Albert Breer said too, when he said Blank wanted to hire the head coach, Bill Belichick. He said the head coach. He didn't. I guess he didn't want all the rest of it. Is that what it is?
Arthur M. Blank Sports Entertainment.
Oh.
AMBSE,
okay.
Sports Entertainment.
That's right.
Absolutely love that. I think now they got to find a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got to figure it out. I think both GM and head coach reporting directly to Arthur Blank as opposed to Rich McKay now.
Mm-hmm.
He has kind of been moved out of the reporting spot. So there's different levels now of leadership over there at Arthur M. Blank Sports Entertainment owned Atlanta Falcons. But, good energy, good juice. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you mentioned you saw a video from way back when he was the interim at Atlanta of Raheem and Arthur Blank like kind of vibing together. So clearly it's a match made in heaven. You brought up the last part where Rich McKay, they're not answering, the head coach and GM are now answering to the owner, not the CEO. I assume that was one of the first things Belichick told him. Like, hey, so as your time as the owner, like what happens? The GM and the coach, they go to you. Like, this is what we did in New England. I would talk to Bob, and I assume Arthur Blank was like, no, they go to the CEO. They go to the CEO.
Rich comes to me if he really needs something.
Yeah, then he tells me, and then
Did Rich found Home Depot and build that up? Is that what?
No.
What has Rich done? So Rich
kind of just been here.
Rich is the one that decides what you hear. Bill was probably flabbergasted.
Blown away.
On the Rich McKay's the guy that's deciding. No offense, Rich McKay.
Betty's great.
No offense.
Don't they have a pass? Doesn't he have a pass with Rich McKay?
Former GM of the Bucks, I'm being told. But who? Bill and Rich McKay?
I thought Bill and Rich McKay may have had some crossover somewhere.
Sounds like you think they don't like each other. Is that what you just said?
No, I don't know. I thought I saw early on that was a possibility of Atlanta because Rich McKay had a big position there that he and Bill had a relationship.
That would be funny to hear Bill Belichick though explaining why.
What do we?
So you own the team. Yeah, It's your money on the team.
All of it.
You built the companies that funded owning the team.
AMBSE's mine.
Yeah. Okay. And you get here.
No, I'm just in the suite. Just hanging.
What are we doing? And Arthur's like, you're right. What are we?
Yeah, what am I doing?
What are we doing out there? We don't know if that's the case. We are just talking about a situation as the news breaks, you think to yourself, oh, there was something that Arthur felt like he probably wasn't hearing or going properly through the filter gatekeeper source of information. How do we get it to the talent, the brain here in this entire thing? Not that Rich McKay's not, once again, but also how do we do this entire thing? I think they're in a good spot going forward. Sounds like everybody's invested.